beautiful collectors and Transformer fans? It is the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the absolutely incredible contributions from all of my Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Kingdom Battle Across Time collection of Sideswipe and Maximal Skywarp. And for a bonus, I'm even going to show you the package, which, as you can see, much like a lot of the Kingdom figures, you got the Transformers text here, Generation logo, gorgeous art here, with both Sideswipe in his Earth mode, as well as Maximal Skywarp, which is a repaint, and I think slight retool of AirRaiser. I'll get into a little bit more with why Skywarp is a Maximal here in a bit, but you got that really cool Kingdom logo there on the side, or art, I should say, here on the side. Other side here has another really cool kind of tie-in with this, and that looks like Scorponok up there. Both of these are deluxe class figures, as you probably would be able to figure out. Come around to the back of the package, and you see images of them in their robot as well as their alternate modes, which truthfully I'm most excited about this, not so much this. But that's even true in the other set that comes with the Earth mode version of Mirage. I don't remember what beast character he comes with, but I'll probably get that just for that Mirage figure. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. Or should I say these guys. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have the Battle Through Time Maximal Skywarp and Sideswipe open up out of their packaging and obviously in their vehicle mode. Now, starting off first with Skywarp, yes, he's not the Skywarp that a lot of G1 fans know. He is a good guy in this. And the Maximal version of Skywarp comes to us by way of Beast Wars 2, which was the Japanese continuation of the Beast Wars series. And I really like the way that this guy turned out. I didn't think I was going to care that much about him, but I think that he is really cool. I don't know, maybe it's just because he's like a bald eagle, but I love the way that this guy looks. Now, as I talked about, primarily he is just a repaint of AirRaiser, which is interesting because in the original toy line, he was a repaint and retool of, I think, Silverbolt. But here is AirRaiser, and you can see pretty much the exact same, except you have a slightly different color, which makes total sense. I don't know what it is about Skywarp here, though, with the coloring that I just really do dig. The white just looks really clean, very sharp. The brown has a very cool look to it. I mean, AirRaiser is no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. I just really think that that bald eagle look is really very, very sharp. You can see that the talons here are really nice, whereas AirRaiser, it was just all molded in this orangish plastic. This one is done up in a brown plastic, but you can see that the talons here at the edge have this really nice gold paint. I really dig that. Just a really cool look. I really do dig the way that this has turned out. You get a nice fine look, and now we have also seen that Pterosaur is going to be coming to us. Oh, I don't have that completely collapsed up. But we are going to be getting a Pterosaur figure fairly soon, which is going to be a retool of this mold as well. And this one, which I think is perfectly okay. I think that it's going to work pretty decently. I think one of my lights is about to go out, so that's going to be interesting to see if it happens. But overall, great looking design and color choice on this. Transformation is the exact same. I am going to go through it a little bit. For some reason, I really think that the colors are very, very striking. You can see that he does still come with the same weapons that AirRaiser came with, but again, instead of this nice gold paint, it's done in just a white. Is that paint or plastic? I feel like that's just an all white molded plastic, but I still think it looks really good. I'll lift this a little bit, rotate that around. Now, one thing that is a little bit different, you don't really have to do this. Honestly, I don't know if the instructions show it, but the original look for Skywarp from Beast Wars 2 had the feet like this, whereas AirRaisers, you rotate those around. That way, the back of the feet here in Beast mode are the front of the feet in her robot mode. You don't really want to do that with this because that doesn't go along with the overall look that he had. Again, you're just going to pull this out. All of this is basically the same. You're going to rotate this, and then this whole thing hinges down. The little bird head sits right there. And then this is just always kind of a pain in the butt, getting this to collapse proper. There we go. And then again, you can angle these however really you want to, but there are little posts and stuff right there to kind of lock things into place. So let's go ahead and just do that for the sake of accuracy, I guess. Another thing that you can do to kind of go along with the actual look of the character, no, that popped out. Well, I guess that's gonna fight with me. Instead of taking these little bits and lifting those up like you do on Airazor, leave them down, because again, that was the overall look of that figure. So when you're done, there you have him in his really cool, again, surprisingly good looking robot mode. And of course, to continue on with that comparison, here we have him next to Airazor, and again, really cool stark difference between these two. Mold-wise is almost identical. The only thing that is different is the head sculpt. You can see that they did give him a completely new head, which I think looks great. Again, very accurate looking to how it should look, and still just as striking as that paint job and everything that the rest of them has. It works beautifully. But again, you do the subtle changes, and that doesn't stay collapsed very well. You do the subtle changes, like with the feet and everything. You can see that while they're the exact same feet, they're just reversed, and without having the little wing things here on the shoulders elevated, it does create a slightly different look for the two figures. Both are terrific, and honestly, I ended up selling this to a buddy of mine, and I'm not even gonna lie, I might give him his 25 bucks back, because I kind of really like the way that this dude looks. I don't know anything about Beast Wars 2, despite the fact that Beast Wars is my favorite franchise in terms of cartoon storytelling, all that kind of stuff. I know nothing about the Japanese stuff. It was just never something I really paid much attention to. But I really dig the way that this guy looks. Articulation is the exact same as Airazor's with the ball joint and everything like that, so nothing really changes. So lots of posability options on this guy, and just super cool, super cool looking. For me though, the main star of this set, it has always been Sideswipe. I love my G1 figures. I love my G1 figures looking like the G1 figures, and this is definitely a huge improvement than that Siege one, which it wasn't a bad figure. I mean, it kind of looked like a Ferrari, but looked a little bit different, and I was always okay with that. This, though, is what I always wanted. This is an outstanding figure. You can see that there is a lot that has been remolded in this, all the way down from the top section to the back to the windscreen. I'm trying to see, like maybe this piece here, this little black section, which I still wish they could have figured out a way to paint that. Now, if you would have put red paint over that, it probably would have made that look really weird. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't, but that's the same. The tires are the same. I am noticing, for some reason, a little bit of a stress mark right there, which I'm not a very big fan of, but the overall look is still really super cool. The other thing that he finally comes with that I think is outstanding, he came with a couple different guns. Now, I had my friends from Void Toys make, well, I didn't have them make it, but they made some upgrade kits for this to make him look a little bit better. They gave him the spoiler and everything here, which this guy still lacks, which kind of stinks. They probably could still do a spoiler with these little peg hole things here on the side. But they had to give us a new weapon. They had to give us a new shoulder cannon, because this is what they gave us before, and this was just not very good. This finally gives us the ability to have a really nice kind of G1 accurate looking handgun for him, and a shoulder cannon. Now, granted, I still don't like this shoulder cannon. I'm still going to use the one that comes with Void Toys, and I'll show that here in a bit. But so much better looking. I'm a sucker for the original look of these characters, and as much as I do like this, I have no problem really with this. This is my preferred look, so I am going to end up probably selling this one. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. I'll let you know. Transformation on this guy is the exact same. Again, none of that changes. You can pull his arm off. That's not part of the transformation. So don't do that. I probably am going a little bit more difficult than I need to. I'm just kind of ripping this apart. And I'm trying to see why does that... trying to see why that little section is stressing right there. That's a really weird place to have a stress joint, because that's not part of anything. So that's really odd. Pull all that stuff. Get that collapsed in there like so. Rotate them around. Tuck that in. Lift this, rotate that down. That's going to sit there. So there you have Sideswipe. And again, just a super clean looking figure. Now, as I was talking about, you can take this, you can put this on either side. The cartoon typically had them having it on this. Get that all the way down there. So I tend to not like this bar being right there. I mean, at least if you put it on that side, you can kind of hide it behind his head. But that's what I was talking about. I feel like that's definitely a little bit too big. I'm not the biggest fan of that. It is what it is, but I'll show you here the Void Toys replacement one here in a bit. But it's so much better looking, I think. And again, I keep saying it. It's not that these are bad figures. I just really prefer that look. And here is that original one. And again, this is basically what you had to do before if you wanted kind of like the shoulder cannon look for it. You would have to do something like that. I mean, that just... it didn't work, although I'm not a big fan of how they did that, honestly. Kind of put it on that side. But the Void Toys, folks, they made this guy, which looks so much better. It's not as long. It's much thicker, which I think looks good. But this is the official one. Again, I still think that this one is a far superior looking one. But for comparison, you put that in there. Obviously, get him to stand. Put that right there. Come on, get in there. The replacement gun, I think, is... this one's actually pretty decent. It's fairly close to what Void Toys did, because they did a kind of reproduction of his actual G1 toy. So I think that this looks pretty good. Neither really look bad. That's kind of a long one, though. But you can see that... I just think that this looks so much better, and I will be using this with the new guy. So let's put that on there. The other thing that I kind of like a little bit more is this is a very nice white color, whereas this is kind of like an off-white, which, you know, I mean, it is what it is. But this has a much brighter white throughout, so that just matches so much nicer. And let's get that on there. I mean, look how cool this looks, guys. That looks perfect. I mean, that is Sideswipe. Boom. Nailed it. Game over. I literally don't have any need for this guy now. I mean, pretty much the exact same stuff. And you can see there is some remolded parts, obviously, like with the chest and everything. But you see a lot more of those reused parts here, where like the thighs, the forearms, the hands, all that stuff. The feet, they all look the same. It's pretty much just the outer section of his vehicle mode that really does have a lot of that different sort of feel to it, but so cool. Articulation on him is all the same. You get the ball joint, the swivels, the pins, all that stuff is identical. Like I said, I'm a much bigger fan of the G1 look for things than anything. I'm always going to have that sort of preference for those sort of appearances with these characters, and that's just a personal preference thing. You know, I know a lot of people do like having their figures look different than they, you know, typically do. In general, this was a set that I knew I was going to want to get because of, obviously, Sideswipe. But for me, Skywarp really turned out to be a bit of a surprise as well. I was not expecting to really like this as much as I do. So much as I said, I may be refunding my friend. Just, I don't know. He's just that darn good. But both of these figures are available right now. The sets, though, unfortunately are exclusive to Amazon. And while that does kind of stink, again, you know, the whole store exclusive BS, At least Amazon is a fairly easy one to go through. It's not like you have to check the stock on them all that much. I mean, for the most part, they're there. So all you have to do is order them and get them shipped out to you. And absolutely, I would recommend picking this set up. I think both are great figures. Both will look good in your collection. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. As always, I want to send a huge shout out to all of you that are Optibotimus Plus channel members. Through your direct contributions to my channel, you continue to help making reviews like this and many others possible. And if you're watching this video and would like to help support the channel by becoming a channel member, where you can get exclusive channel chat and comment emojis, loyalty badges, early access to video reviews, exclusive channel unboxing videos, live streams, Zoom calls, access to the Optibotimus Plus only Discord, as well as the occasional giveaways like all of these guys do, then please consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, guys, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all for watching and taking the time to be a kid.